my name is Kaylee and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay everybody, I am so sorry this video is late. I have been really busy these past few days, but you guys notice anything different? Ta-da! Now, since my camera likes to focus on me, of course, most of the time during my videos it'll probably be blurred out, but I just thought it was a cute little addition to my room. Anyways, just a quick little update. Sorry I have been kind of MIA. I should have posted a few days ago, but here we are. I will be posting on Christmas because it falls on a Saturday, but it's probably gonna be like a 3 or 4 minute story time. So I apologize if next week you're looking forward to a longer video. I just have a lot of things to get done this week. Also, I got my nails done. They're like Christmassy, really cute, you know. But enough of that, I'm going to bring you guys up close. There we go. All right, so just my usual rundown for most of the video. I will be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. Most of these story times are sent in by an anonymous user, hence the reason why it's called Storytime from Anonymous. Also, I tell these story times at a first person point of view, so if you do not like that, feel free to click out of this video. Okay, so story time about my Christmas stalker. Love that. I feel like most of these stories lately have been like super creepy, but these are the only Christmas stories that I've been able to find. So yeah, let's get right in. So a little background information. I was a freshman in college and I was 19. And this story starts off right around Thanksgiving. Well, a few months before this, the girls in my sorority had talked me into downloading the app Tinder because it would be a cool way to meet guys. They just knew me so well. They knew I couldn't get a man on my own. Anyways, so I had been using Tinder for a little bit, never had any problems, really hadn't found anybody on there that was worth meeting up with. Fast forward to present day, aka, like I said, a month before Christmas, I end up matching with this really cute guy on Tinder. And in all honesty, he was one of the better looking guys on there. Everybody else on there were people that, one, I already knew, or 40-year-old men looking to bag some college girls. We love that. Ugh. Disgusting. Well, when I had started talking to him, he said that he went to my school. I was like, awesome. So I would be able to hang out with somebody who, one, is my age, two, actually lives near me, or so I thought. So of course my stalker self looks him up on every single social media app that there is out there. Well, I ended up finding his Instagram, but there were literally no pictures of him. It looked like he was like an art geek and just had pictures of his croissants and a flower that he found outside. No shade to anybody whose Instagram is like that, but that's all I could find. No pictures of him at all. Well, eventually I started asking around at school if anybody knew him because it was weird. He was like, oh, like none of your friends probably know me. Like I take this class and this class, which didn't even sound like classes at my school. So eventually the stalker radar goes off in my head and I decide to block him and stop talking to him. But just like any freaking weirdo stalker, he didn't like that at all. Just couldn't take no for an answer. So what does he do? Well, I'm gonna tell you. The next 2 weeks, he made a new Tinder account and would constantly text me off of there. And then he started making fake accounts on Instagram and Snapchat once I wouldn't answer him on Tinder, and he would message me through all 3 apps. Like, this dude was in love with me. Like, and I didn't even have to do anything. Well, it got to the point where I told my sorority about it and they tried to have the cops help us, you know, like any other normal person. But instead of the cops being any help, they were like, well, the name on his Tinder isn't his real name. Clearly. And then they basically said there's really nothing I could do except for block the accounts. Thanks, that's what I've been doing, but I'm getting fucking tired of that. Anyways, so I want to say maybe 3 days before I was supposed to go home for the holidays, I got a Instagram message from yours truly, my stalker. And it wasn't even a message. It was a picture of where I was at that exact time, aka in the student lounge. So after I saw that, I got really creeped out. I started looking around to see if I could, you know, maybe pinpoint where the picture was taken from. Nope, didn't work. Of course. Well, like I had said before, I was supposed to go home 3 days when this took place. But instead, I asked one of my teachers if I could take one of my finals early, aka my last final that I had to take. She said yes, so I took the final and I went straight home that day. Flew home, 500 miles away from the school. So I was feeling pretty good right now. I didn't really think there was anything to worry about whenever I got home. Well, I had finally told my family about what was going on because they kind of sensed that something was up with me when I got there. And if anything, I thought that they could help. Well, after a good night's sleep at home, I woke up the next day feeling so much better, and I didn't receive any weird calls or texts or anything from any accounts. Well, of course, the day after that, of course, I received a package in the mail. I opened it and inside was a bunch of candy with a bottle of wine and a note right at the bottom that says, "Merry Christmas XOXO." I went to go and check who it was from and there was no name or anything on it or no return address. So what did I do? I called all my friends, I asked my family members, and everybody said, "We don't know who sent you that, but it was not us." So, you know, we love that. Now my stalker just like knows where I live. Great, right? Now. So then I just brushed it off. I was like, okay, maybe somebody's just playing a prank on me, and coincidentally, it happens to be at the time while I have a stalker. You know, I don't know what I was thinking, you know. Then the next day, I got another package and it had makeup and earrings inside of it. Great. So then my family and I decided this has been going on for too long. He has our address. We're getting really creeped out. So we call the police in my hometown. That was no help. Once again, they said if anything, maybe ask my school for some help, because if he really does go there, they might be able to track him down. So my parents and I call my school. They say, okay, we'll get back to you, you know. In the meantime, the day that I'm supposed to go home, I get another package in the mail and it is filled with lacy underwear. Why do men have to be so fucking creepy? When somebody's able to answer that question, please get back to me. So at this point, I decided to come up with a plan to lure this guy to me. But I had to get my brother and my dad on board with it. So I ended up telling my dad and my brother what the plan was. My dad didn't like it at first, but he wanted his little girl to stop being harassed. So he was like, you know what? Anything for this guy to stop. Because at this point, we were looking at it as the police weren't, like, they couldn't do anything. And I had a feeling it was only gonna get worse from there. So I sent him a message saying, let me have the next couple days with my family and I'll let you take me out on a date when I get back home. I mean, when I get back to school. Of course, he was a little skeptical at first, but I told him if he really looks how he did on his Tinder, or even just a little bit close, I'll let him take me out on a date. Which, I'm sorry, but I don't even care if you look like your Tinder at this point. You're creepy, you're weird, find a better way to pick up chicks. It is what it is. So, like I said, I'm playing along with this plan, and I thank him for all the gifts that he gave me. I was like, you treat me so well, you know, I'm so excited to see you. And I also may or may not have looked up a picture of a girl on the internet wearing only her bra and sent it to him so that way he would trust me more. I don't know what my tactic was, okay, leave me alone. But at the time I thought it was a good idea. And of course he bought it. So I was like, all right, plan is set in stone. We're gonna catch this guy. So the plan was my dad and my brothers were gonna fly down right after I did. And I was gonna meet up with him and then they would show up right behind me. After I landed, I told him I wanted him to meet me at a coffee shop near the airport. And he was like, oh, where are the gifts that I gave you? And I'm like, oh, like I can't, I left them at home, so I'll try to wear something close close. I obviously wasn't wearing anything close to what he got me because I burned that stuff. Anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm texting him like, hey, where are you? You know, I'm here. And my dad and my brother were already waiting outside. Well, then he texts me and he's like, I want you to meet me at my house instead. So I tried begging him to come and meet me at this place for a little bit, but it was clear that he was not gonna budge. He wanted me to go to his house. So eventually I was like, all right, screw it. I went in my car. My dad and my brother followed me in a rental car. And on the way there, I'm super excited, but super nervous because if he ended up locking me in the house before my dad and my brother showed up, I had a feeling that I just was not going to survive. I was probably gonna die. He was gonna kill me. So we pull up, and once I got there, I started looking around at the neighborhood and everything. The neighborhood seemed kind of nice, you know, it looked very quiet, but when I looked at the house with the address that he gave me, there were children's toys outside. At least that's what it looked like. I don't know, maybe it could have been some dog toys. You don't know with this guy, you really don't. So at this point, I'm sitting in the car waiting because my dad and my brother lost me a few miles back, and I start getting text messages from him. Why are you waiting outside? Why won't you come in? Da 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 da. And I had to make up an excuse, so I was like, oh, I'm putting on some cute lacy underwear. I wasn't. I was like shitting myself actually. Well, eventually I get a text from my dad and brother saying that they are waiting in the alley that's right next to his house. So his house pretty much had like a porch right here, and then there was an alley that went back to the house behind him. So my dad and my brother parked in front of the house that was behind him, but walked all the way up to like the end of the alley so they could see when I was going in the house. And the good thing was the stairs were right next to that alley. Thank God. So I started walking up to the door, and clearly he was watching me from the window because I got like 2 feet away from the door when all of a sudden the front door opens and he grabs me by the arm and pulls me in the house. Well, after he pulls me in, I immediately start bawling my eyes out, as I'm pretty sure anybody would do. Then he starts screaming at me, saying things like, if you set me up, I'll kill you. Nobody better have followed you here. It's like he knew I was scared. And he was like, why didn't you appreciate the gifts that I gave you? You didn't even wear anything here. Yeah, just totally taking out some maybe childhood built up anger out on me. You know, go off, sis. And then he goes, I'm not going to jail for this, da 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 da. You might, I'm not gonna lie, you might. Well, then the front door comes flying open. I guess his dumbass forgot to lock it, but that's good for me though. Pretty much all I remember after that is my dad smacking him in the back of the head with a baseball bat. While my other brother was beating him with a sock full of rocks. Yeah, rocks. That I actually think he picked up outside the dude's house. Pretty much, I want to say this all happened within a span of like 2 minutes, if I'm being generous. But after that, we hopped in our cars and we left. And I'm pretty sure he got the hint after that, because after that, I wasn't getting any creepy messages, no creepy mail. Well, apparently there were like 3 people, I think, from my school that actually did know him. And they told me that he went to the hospital and had a broken jaw, a few cracked ribs. And I guess whenever they had asked like what happened, he said that he was mugged. Like, dude really did not want anybody to know that he was stalking me. And once that story kind of got around, no dude would come near me with a 10-foot pole even, because I'm pretty sure they were scared they were gonna get their ass beat by my brother and my dad. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to send in your anonymous story time, make sure to click the link down below. And if you maybe want to see more of me, hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know when I post my next video, make sure to click that bell. If I do not see you guys on Christmas Day, then have a Merry Christmas. Love you guys.